Okay, this is in answer to Ben the Time Traveler here, whoever you are. About this video of yours. Let's start it off. I'll play it for a minute.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog of the controversy.
If you go to H.R. 3962, this is a bill that was written back in 2009, October 29, 2009. If you go down to page, I think maybe 1501, this is the FDA administration. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, it talks about National Medical Device Registry. And if you read down, it talks about implementing and it talks about class 3 medical devices, and it's like pacemakers and stuff. But this right here, it says, and this is a very open-ended bill. It means they can do whatever they want and have vague language. But it says, may include, as the Secretary determines, as she deems appropriate, specifies in regulation a class 2 device that is life-supporting or life-sustaining. What is a class 2 device? Well, if you go to the FDA, class 2 Special Controls Guidance Document, implantable radio frequency transponder system for patent identification and health information. And if you go back here, it's all about data registry, medical device registry, health information, implantable. If you go over here to FDA, class 2, implantable radio frequency transponder system for patient identification and health information.
Okay, that's where we're going to stop it right there. We're going to say implantable. No, see, the Food and Drug Administration. That is because this device is not like implantable specifically. They're going to put it in the food. You can just take it. You could take it as a pill if you wanted to take it, but the point is that it's going to be in the food. That's why it's got to be passed with the Food and Drug Administration, because it'll be taken as a drug or a medicine. And they're going to tell you, here, take this pill, and we'll have a look-see what's wrong with you. But in truth, the class 2 device you're talking about is going to be this right here. Patent number EP1920418A2, and read the text from W02007028035A2. Now, this is the device. Now, the owner of the application for patent is Proteus Biomedical Incorporated. They're an American company. They're in the States. That's your the inventor of your worst nightmare, basically. Now, if you go to this page, you'll see at the top of the page, it's www.google.com/patents/EP1920418A2 $CL equals EN. Okay. Now, I really implore everybody needs to read this. Everybody should research this and look into it for themselves. It's not a some crazy thing. It's just it's real. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Go down the page, you'll see that there's classifications as to what it can do. There's claims as to what is claimed will be done on the one side here. Let's just click over to classifications. And these are classifications of medical things, right? Because the European classification, they already have classifications for this patent in Europe. There is a European patent for this. But the American patent here, internal classification. Just click on the first one here. Now, let's see what's in this Electrotherapy. Circuits, therefore, takes precedence. Electrically conductive preparations for use in therapy or testing in vivo. Now, let's go down the page a little bit here, because it says 1 to 0, 0. And there's a lot of crazy stuff in here. It's got a built-in power source, massage device, alternating or intermittent currents, like you'd mentioned, for pacemakers, for stimulation of any muscle or any part of the body. In example, a heart or pacemaker. But it doesn't say it specifically for that. That's just used as an example to lead you off. It's also planned to be used for all of your soldiers as a heart stimulator. If your soldier falls in the field with a bullet, he doesn't have to worry about them coming out with them defribulators. He's got one in him. It takes precedence. Heart defribulators, A6 1N. They want soldiers whose heart will not stop beating, period, until the battery is dead. So when you're out in the field and you're down and you're in so much pain that you want to die, too bad. You can't. Soldiers whose hearts do not stop beating. That is what they want. And you will also see that this device can be used to devices for producing movement of radiation source during therapy, using microwaves. It's funny, health, life-saving, amusement. Wonder who decided that this should be in the amusement section. Hey, that's quite interesting. We'll go back. You'll also I really think you should check out all of these things that are here. The cooperative classification for this device. As it was said, is for detecting, measuring, or recording for diagnostic purposes, radiation diagnosis, diagnosis by ultrasonic, sonic, or infrasonic waves, identification of persons, specifically, measuring or recording in general subclasses, medical informatics. It is also can be used for measuring characteristics of blood in vivo, gas concentrations, acidic values, characteristics of body fluids or tissues, interstitial fluids, cerebral tissue, measuring the blood pressure or blood flow, non-radiation detecting or locating of foreign bodies in the blood. It is specially adapted for measuring characteristics of blood fluids other than blood, for taking samples of body fluids, using means for aiding extraction of interstitial fluids, microneedles or suction, for causing sweat, using microdialysis. It can clean things out of your blood if you're a soldier. It can be used for measuring glucose, tissue impedance measurement, for measuring blood acidity, body fluid acidity. Now it can be used for using optical sensors. Example, spectral photometrical oximeters. Think about that. For measuring blood gases. Details of sensors especially adapted for cerebral tissue. Why would they make something that can be adapted specifically for your brain? Specially adapted for the eye fundus. Activated by fluorescence. Specially adapted to extracorporeal circuits by polarization. Introduced into the body by a catheter. Specially adapted for fetal tissue, using chemical or electrochemical methods. Example, polarographic means. Comprising an immobilized region. Very interesting. You'll also see a few of the things in here that are pretty crazy. Arrangement for transmitting signals characterized by the use of a wireless electrical signal. Designed for electric signal transmission systems. Using pulse code. System for transmitting the position of an object with aspect to a predetermined reference system. Teleautographic systems. Non-electric signal transmission systems. Optical systems. Arrangements for preventing or correcting errors. Monitoring arrangements. Implanted circuitry, wow. Diagnosis, psychophysical tests. Interesting. Applying electrical currents by contact electrodes, altering or intermittent currents, applying electric fields by inductive or capacitive coupling, A6 microwave apparatus. For stimulation, heart pacemaker is an example, but that's just an example. Arrangements in connection with implantation of stimulators, means for communicating with stimulators, characterized by the communication link, acoustic, tactile, circuits or electromagnetic coupling, shape or location of the implanted or external antenna. This is Proteus Digital Health Incorporated. They're not very talked about much, it seems like, on the internet. If you look into it, it'd be pretty interesting. It's a very detailed document. It goes on for a very long time in great detail what exactly they plan to have every American stuck with. It explains how they use your whole body as an antenna, what the range of the radio frequencies they use are that they can control, or they can basically remote control every single function of your body with this device, and it's very, very small. You could be putting your sandwich and you would never know. You could be putting a drink. It's very small. Is claimed. System of communicating information within the body of an animal. The system comprising a first device comprising a transmitter configured to transmit a signal via quasi-electrostatic coupling to the body of the patient, and a second device comprising receiver configured to receive the transmitted signal via a quasi-electrostatic coupling to the body of the patient. The system, according to Claim 1, wherein said system includes at least a third device, which is configured to be to at least one of transmit a signal via quasi-electrostatic coupling to the body and the patient, and receive a transmitted signal via a quasi-electrostatic coupling to the body of the patient. This thing can do a lot of things. Literally can remotely control every aspect of your body, right down to the cellular level, it states, right to the cellular level, to intercellular operations. Well, as I said, make sure you check that out. That is very, very messed up. And if your president is pushing for something like this to be in every patient they decide that they're going to help or that needs help from them, I think you guys might be... You need to do something about that in your country, because for a president to want to remotely control every aspect to the cellular level of everybody who votes, doesn't that kind of rule who you're going to vote for? If that gets put into play, you'll never vote for anybody but Obama. He is your new king. Think about that. if you feel that's the kind of country you want to live in, like, you just went through a huge war in which clearly the terrorists won. Whether you think you killed Osama bin Laden, or whether you really did or whether you didn't, who knows? But he won the war if it was his war, because you guys lost all your freedoms, all your rights. You live in fear every day of your own government. It's like you guys are the USSR all of a sudden. Like, you're living as your worst enemy, as your worst nightmare. Because some guy who can't even prove he's an American is your president, and he's fucking screwing you. Pardon my French. But sure glad I'm not in the United States. You guys got to do something about your government. There's nothing anybody else can do to help you. You guys got the biggest bombs. What are we going to do? Come in and invade you to try and help you? Yeah, right. You're on your own. It's up to you guys to do something about, you know, whatever's going wrong in your country. I'll just, you know, just over here, look at this. Good night.